Fantastic. So since we have that, now we can work on retrieving these tasks from Firestore to our application. So to do that, now we can go to home or all tasks screen. So let me open the all tasks screen. First of all, I'm just going to change this and I'm going to add an app bar. So app bar, I'm going to give it a title of my tasks and give it a style of app styles title textile dot copy with colors dot white. So since we have that, now we can create the body. I'm going to go to common widgets and I'm going to create a file called async value widget. So this is going to be a stateless widget. I'm going to call it async value widget, which is a generic type of type T. And then I'm going to import material.dat. I want to import material.dat instead. So import material.dat because I'm running this on Android. So final async value of type T value, and then final widget data. Then I do the necessary here to remove that error. I'm going to remove this one. Fantastic. We're going to return value dot when. So this one gives a data error and loading. So in case of loading, we get a closure and we are going to return a circular progress indicator that is at the center. So I'm going to wrap this with center and add const. In case of an error, we get an error on the stack trace, and then we return a center widget with a child of text error.toStream. And data, we pass data. Let us remove this return here. And we are done with our async value widget. So I'm going to close that. So back to all tasks screen. So our body is going to be the async value widget, which is going to be of type list of task. So the value is going to be the tasks that we load. So for that, inside this build method, we are going to create a variable. I'm going to call it tasks async value. On this will be ref.watch load tasks provider, and this is a family. So for that, we need to get the user ID first. So final user ID is equals to ref.watch current user provider dot UID. Again, this is we are pretty sure that this is going to be a user, and therefore we can use that assertion operator over there like that. And in case there is an error, we can use ref.listen again, and this is going to be a sync value here. We are listening to the load tasks provider, and this will give us the previous state and the new state. And this of course is a family, so we need to pass the user ID there. So here we need to say state dot show alert on error, and then we pass the context like that. Fantastic. So here the task async value will be the value here, and data will be the particular tasks. Return, so if tasks dot is empty, so if the tasks are empty, we are going to return a const center widget with a child of text that reads no tasks yet, like that. Else we want to list view dot separated. So the item builder, this gives us a context and an index, and we can get a task getting the tasks at the current index like that. And for each and every task, we are going to return a task item. So this is a widget that I'm going to create, and this is going to take a task. Okay, so for the separator builder, this one takes a context and it takes a height. I'm going to return a const divider with a height. I'm going to give it a height of 2 and a color, colors.blue, like that. So finally the items count, the tasks dot length, like that. So I need to import this task like that. So I need to now to create this task item. So this one should go to inside the task management, inside the widgets. I'm going to create the task item like that. And it is in this task item that we are going to delete the task, update the task, and do those kinds of operations. So this is going to be a consumer stateful widget, which I'm going to call task item. So I'm going to import Flutter Riverpod, and I'm also going to import material.dat, like that. So this task is going to take a task, which I call task, like that, and add it in the constructor here. So inside this build method, let us quickly initialize our size config here, because we are going to use it, and then we are going to return a container, and this container has a margin, and this margin is of const edge insets dot all 10 and a padding of const edge of all 10 as well, and a decoration box decoration border radius dot circular also has a color of colors.black. So inside of this container we have a child, which is a row, and the row has children, which are all columns with different children. So I'm going to put these columns inside of expanded widgets. These as well inside with another widget, the expanded widget. So the first column, the first child is the text. The text is widget.task.title. Style is app styles.heading textile. .copy width. Font size of 18. Color of colors.white. So after that we have a size box with a height of size config .get proportionate height of 10, and then we can create a text. So this text is going to be widget.task.description. Style will be appstyle.normal textile.copy width. Color colors.white, like that. Also going to have a max lines of 2, and it's going to have an overflow of ellipses, like that. Again, we are going to have another sized box here. This time we give this 20, and here now we are going to create a row with children. So the first child is a container, which has an alignment of center, a padding of const edge insets dot all of 5. It has a height of size config dot get proportionate height of 40, and it has a decoration, a box decoration, color colors dot deep orange, border radius dot circular 10. The child, which is a text, and the text itself widget.task.priority to uppercase, like that. Style app styles .normal textile .copy width, color colors.white, like that. We are going to copy this container, but before that let me add a sized box here, and I'm going to give it a width of 20, and then I'm gonna copy this container, and then I'm gonna paste it here. So in the all task screen, I can try to add that and save. As you can see, we are loading that. So the color of this, we can set it to green. I can change this to width. So here the child is not going to be a text, but rather a row. So the first element of that row is going to be an icon. Which is going to be icons.calendar, calendar month. I'm going to give a color of colors.black, and I'm going to give it a size of 20, like that. The text for this one is going to be the calendar, the date, sorry. It's not going to be priority, but the date. So for that, we need to find a way to convert this date. If we go to Firebase, as you can see, the date is quite a large string. So we want to find a way to convert it to a smaller string. So to do that, if you can remember at the beginning of this video, we imported the Intel package. So, and we are going to use the Intel package to be able to convert our particular string. All right, so to do that, at the top of this file, I'm going to create a simple method that takes a string and then converts it to a good format. So let me just create it here. So I'm going to call it formatted date. So it's going to take a string date, and it's a string date because in the definition of this task we save the date as a string, and that is the date that we are going to pass into this method so that it can be converted. So here we can have a date time equals to date time dot pass the date, and then we can have string formatted date is equals to date format. So we can have the day, then the month and the year dot format the date time, and then we can return the formatted date. So this date format is going to come from the Intel package. So let me import the Intel package like that. As you can see now, this error has gone. So let's scroll down here. So this text, what we need to pass here is formatted date, and then we can pass widget dot task dot date, and that is going to get us what we need. So if I can save that, we get some overflow here, but as you can see, we get the correct formatted date here. Let's change this to a smaller value, like 10 for example. Yeah. So to arrange this, to have them start at the beginning, we just have to come to the column and then set the cross-axis alignment to start. So with that, you can be sure that the task title and the description start from this end. Okay, so we now need to create the next column with the checkbox, the edit, and also the delete, as I showed you in the demo application. So here, so that will go in this column. So, and now we want to push the elements in this column to the very end. So in this column, I'm going to add the cross-axis alignment to the end. So that will ensure that they are pushed to the very end of the screen. So here we are going to create a checkbox. So let me create a checkbox. So the value of the checkbox is going to be that of the widget dot task dot is complete. So for the unchanged, this one gives a nullable bool value, and then so if the value is null, then we return. Else, when the checkbox is tapped, we want to update the value of this checkbox in the database. And for that, first of all, you are going to need the user ID. Final user ID equals to ref.watch. I'm going to watch the current user provider.uid, like that. And then we can say ref.read Firestore repository provider.update task completion. So we pass the user ID, we pass the task ID, and the task ID is the widget dot task dot ID, like that. And then is complete. Now we pass the value that we get here, since it is not null in the else case. Fantastic. So as you can see, this checkbox is quite small. To enlarge it a little bit, we can wrap it inside of another widget, and this widget is called transform.scale. And then here we can add the scale to a value like 1.8. So if I save that, as you can see, the checkbox has grown bigger. All right. So since we have added this checkbox, and we have, you can see here, the is complete is false, but when I check this, as you can see, it updates to true, and when I uncheck it, it updates to false. So that is the power of what we did inside this task completion. So we use the user ID, the task ID, and is complete, and then we use the update to update this key with the new value. That is what is happening here. Okay, so what we need now to create is the edit and also the delete boxes. So after this checkbox, I can create a container here. This container is going to have a height of size config dot get proportionate height 40. Is going to have a padding of const edge insets all 5, and it's going to have a decoration of box decoration, a color of colors.green. It's going to have a shape of box shape dot circle. So if I can save it, as you can see, it appears here. I need to give it a child. So the child is going to be a const icon. So the icon is going to be icons dot edit. The color is going to be colors dot white, and the size is going to be 30.0. We're going to save that. So we have that, and it is properly aligned where we want it. Let me add the final container, and this container is going to be a delete button. So I'm going to this to delete, and I'm going to leave this color of red. All right, so this is fantastic. As you can see, we created the delete, the edit, and of course the checkbox.